All right, what is up, Lakeside Unplugged fam? I'm your host, Marty G. Thank you for taking some time to come and percolate with me. Today, we have another special guest. I'm glad that he came on, Dr. Danny Brown. Danny, what's up, man?
What's going on, Coach? How you been, brother?
I'm doing good and, like you said, just trying to enjoy the nicer weather, hopefully coming a little, it's 40 degrees, so hopefully it's, staying that way here. But as appreciate you being an avid listener. We allow the guest to kind of introduce himself, take as much time as you need, kind of who you are, what you're about, and what you want the listener to know about you.
Cool, man. So, I'm Dan Brown, and I live in Philly. I'm a chiropractor. I met you through our good buddy Nikki Panucci, who's a great friend and coworker of mine. Love the Dragon. Shout out to the Dragon. Um, yeah, man. So it's a big year for me. I think you know this already. Just got married in January in Mexico. So very exciting. And then my wife and I came back for a bit, and then we went on our honeymoon to Antigua in the Caribbean. That was incredible. Wedding was unbelievable. You were the only person that I did a knee beer for at my own wedding.
I love
But
that. You know, I love that.
shout out to you on that one. And yeah, so then we just got back from the honeymoon a couple weeks ago, and found out that my wife is actually pregnant.
Oh, congratulations, brother. That's amazing news.
Yeah, so it's been a lot. We're another thing you and I have in common. I know you got the lake house. Obviously, we're in the process of trying to buy a house here in Philly. Um, so yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on. Only 2 months into the new year, but big year for us so far. So all good things. Life's good.
Yeah, man. First off, congratulations on both ends on getting married, now expecting a new child. That's super exciting stuff. And obviously, buying a new home. It seems like you, your wife, are doing great things, man. Appreciate you sharing the good news. So I'm excited for you and your wife and your whole family. It seems like you're doing really well. And Danny is uh he's a New Yorker in Philly. That's never easy, as we always, know as sports fans and just in general. But before we, touch on the sports, let's take a little trip down to chiropractic school and all of that. And I think a lot of us, especially me coaching athletes, a lot of us, and even myself being, getting older, the chiropractor is somewhere in some place that I love to live. So is chiropractic like the thing you always wanted to do?
Yeah, man. So like you kind of said earlier, I grew up in North Jersey. Was there my whole life. Right outside New York City. I went to undergrad at Rutgers, and then went to chiropractic school down in Atlanta, Georgia. At first, I was kind of leaning towards a career in medicine. And then obviously learning more about physiology, kinesiology, and functional rehab aspects of injuries. I started to go more towards the PT, maybe athletic training route. That wasn't 100% right fit for me. Um, so I kind of stumbled across chiropractic, and I realized that it was a great kind of a hybrid blend between, you're a doctor, you're seeing patients, you're treating patients, you're helping patients, but it's much more than seeing a patient, writing a script for medication, and then, hey, I'll see you next year. It's hands-on, it's building relationships, building connections with people. You get to kind of see their story from start to finish from their treatment. And that's really one of the best things about what we do is there's really no one and done. You follow patients throughout the course of their treatment and what they're going through. You kind of get them from point A to point B, and you kind of get to be a part of that story, which is, something that is really great.
Yeah, and you guys do wonders. I mean, I remember I was having some back pain, just joined CrossFit and all that, so I was having some back pain from that, and I went to the chiropractor probably 2, 3 times a week, and it works wonders. I mean, I feel the difference for sure. How did you, go into Rutgers and all that in Atlanta? How did you end up at HealthBridge Chiropractic out in Philly?
Yeah, so in chiropractic school, part of your education, you have to do similar to what a medical doctor would do as their residency. You have to do something similar for 6 months. and there's only certain states that you're allowed to do it in. My goal was to get back to the Northeast, and Pennsylvania is one of the states that allows you to do it there, do your residency. So I was like, okay, PA is, it's close, but it's not New York or New Jersey, so it'll be a little different. Um, Love a new challenge. So Philly was on the radar, and I was my cousins live here, so I was like, let me check it out. Never really spent much time in Philly. Came here, spent a little time here, and really really loved the city, and kind of saw myself here. So started my residency here. Um, that was in 2021, and then graduated school and just kind of went fully on board with the company HealthBridge that I'm working with currently.
Awesome. And you guys are, it seems like every time I talk to Nucha, you guys are always expanding or something. There's a new office opening. How many
Yeah.
offices and places you guys actually got over there in Philly?
We have 11 offices currently. Probably nine, 8 of them are in the Philly area, and then we have 3 of them in the surrounding areas. So Reading, PA, Lancaster, PA, Allentown, PA. But yeah, this is it's a small business, but it's a big company, a lot of people, and yeah, it's great work that we do. So I really enjoy it.
So you heard it. Anybody listening here on Lakeside Unplugged, you have chiropractic needs in the Philly area or outside areas, go to HealthBridge Chiropractic. Now, like I said, I love what you guys do, and I think like for me, there's a lot of misconceptions about chiropractic work. Is there any like one misconception that you would kind of want to clear up for any person that's listening who may be a little skeptical to go to the chiropractor? I mean, I recommend everybody go, but is there like one thing that you're like, this is not true, like don't believe this bullshit, like
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I get that question all the time, and probably the number one thing I would say is that chiropractic is just for the spine, just for the neck and back. It is definitely for that. But it's not only for that. I have a lot of patients that I treat currently that have things like frozen shoulder. Um, that type of injury in and of itself is a great injury for chiropractors to rehab. So the reality is, like, if you're having a musculoskeletal injury or an issue, you should definitely go see a chiropractor because they can probably offer you something that you may not even realize that they can do.
wow, yeah, I didn't even know I didn't even know frozen shoulder was a real thing. I have no idea. So, like I said, we learn something new every day here on the podcast, and we appreciate that. But shifting gears here, what is it like being a New York sports fan in Philly?
It's tough, and at the same time, I love it
And
because
tell the people what fans you are,
so yeah, so growing up in North Jersey, obviously in the New York area, I'll be honest with you, I never really got into football. I wasn't Jets or Giants. I was a New Jersey Mets fan when they were playing in Jersey. Yep, throwing it back right there. Shout out Jason Kidd. Once
Gary Kittle and the boys.
Corey Kittles, yeah. Once they moved to Brooklyn, I was kind of like, all right, whatever. So, I wasn't really too into that. But baseball, always been a diehard Mets fan. My father, he's a Mets fan. We were all born into it. So diehard Mets fan from day one. I will say, since moving to Philly, I definitely have adopted the Eagles just because they're such a fun team to watch, and there's so much buzz around the team here in the city. With the New York teams, there's 2 of everything. There's Knicks or Nets. There's Jets or Giants. There's Mets or Yankees. In Philly, it's your Eagles or you're not.
Yeah, yeah. There's no in between in Philadelphia. I learned that just being in the area, it's Eagles or die out there. There's no Steelers. There's no, God forbid you ever wore a Giants jersey to the stadium. There's only the Eagles. But me and Danny are diehard Mets fans. We talk about the Mets all the time to each other, and I gotta ask your take. What's your take? What was your first initial reaction when you heard Nimmo's gone, Alonso's gone, all the Mets that we grew up who grew up in front of our eyes? What was your take when they all started to go and Stern started to bring all the new guys in?
I was nervous at first. I think I sent you a message a few months ago, and I was like, I kind of feel like we're maybe looking at another third place NL East finish this year coming up, which is going to just be brutal. I think now the direction has changed a little bit. The I don't think the Braves are going to be as good this year. It's going to just come down to us and the Phillies, I think, honestly. Um, the Phillies look like they're having some problems right now. Their GM is talking crap about their star player. Their star player is talking crap about him. I don't know what's going on with all that. They didn't make too many free agent pickups, but I think the Mets actually, to be honest, in the division are in a pretty good place right now. To me, the big question mark is just always going to be the pitching. Like our lineup is solid. We picked up Polanco. We picked up so we obviously Soto coming back for the second year. So our lineup is definitely strong. But to me, I don't know if you agree with me, but the question mark with them to me is always the pitching. How is that going to hold up throughout the course of the season?
Oh yeah, I would 1,000,000% agree. I think we don't know what we're getting out of Senga to start. I think the trade of Peralta was awesome.
Yeah.
We got an ace. That's definitely. I mean, you also as great as McLean was, you don't know can he repeat that, right? And then we have Jonathan, who was still kind of an unknown. He's trying to feel himself out a little bit, learn as he goes. And I thought actually bringing them up last year was a good thing. Kind of
Yeah.
get their feet wet. I hate when teams just let their prospects rot in the
Yeah.
minor. Just don't let them come up. But I'm not gonna lie, the Diaz leaving us kind of hurt. I mean, hopefully Devin Williams can take his skills that he once had and on the Brewers, bring it here and close some games for us. But like you said, I think the pitching is just the biggest mystery. If that can hold up and we get some quality starts, Peterson can come back, be strong. I think the Mets are in good position, and I don't see, like you said, the Braves or the Nationals or the Marlins being a problem for us. But I don't know what it is about the Marlins. They're just pesky. They just beat us for some reason. Like, right? Isn't that the truth?
They always, man. They're like, for whatever reason, if it was do or die season on the line, us Marlins, I'm honestly gonna bet on the Marlins. I just don't know why that is. Like you said, it's just for whatever reason they just have our number in those games, and I never understood why.
And I think that's just a consensus that Mets fans have. Like, we just don't want to play the Marlins. Give us anybody else but the Marlins, and we'll be totally okay. But my thing that scares me is like replacing Pete Alonso's 40 home runs, 110 RBIs. I mean, where do you see that production coming from? Like, do you see anybody in particular that you're excited about?
You know what's crazy about that too? What's pretty funny is also it makes it a little bit sting a little bit more too. Is my wife is from Baltimore, so she's a huge, huge O's fan, and she's like rubbing it in my face every day, bro. She's like, "You see this? Pete Alonso hit a homer in the spring training game." I'm like, "Yo, get out of my face with."
So I gotta ask now because you got a kid on the way. Are you going Orioles? Are you going Mets? Or are you on the kid decide?
So listen. I actually brought that up to her jokingly last week, and I was like, the baby's got to be a Mets fan. She's like, why would you do that to them? You're pissed that your dad did that to you. Why would you pass that on? I'm like, well, maybe you got a point.
You know what? For the kid's sake, go Orioles for the kid because I don't think I would put my kid under any pressure and or disappointment that we've felt as Mets fans. And you know what? But I always say this. I say when they finally do win, whenever that may be, that's going to be the greatest feeling of any sports team of mine.
That's why we do it. That's why we turn on the TV every day. And that's why every spring training we show up with a smile on our face and think this year is going to be different. This is going to be us. We're going to get it done. We're going to have our parade in New York. And it's going to be just one time. Just one time. I want to go to the parade in New York and I want to just be there and celebrate the Mets just once.
Dude, and I've told my coworkers at my job, I said, so if the Mets of any team of mine wins the World Series, I probably won't be in for a month. I mean,
You won't see me.
no, that there's no way I'm going into work if the Mets win the World Series because that takes it all. They don't. We could be up by 8 runs in the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and still find a way to lose. And people just be like, "That's just the Mets metting right now." And
I'm
it's
still nervous. I'm still nervous, baby. If we got an 8-run lead, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, I'm still sweating it out until that final out.
And any other fan base, like the Phillies, can just turn the TV off. They know they'll like they know they won. The Mets, they don't even make it easy. Like they'll throw like three balls in a row, walk, 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 and the next thing you know, we're losing 9-8, and that's just how it goes as a Mets fan. But
I try to keep a positive mindset of like, hey, maybe we get it done, maybe this, maybe that, but like it's just we get our hopes up every year and then we end up being so disgusted with the outcome. I mean, other than 2015 we had a good run, obviously 20 the OMG year we had a good run. That was super exciting. And I went to one of those World Series games in 2015. That was the most electric atmosphere I've ever been in my life. And like just to ride that high into a World Series win would just be so incredible. Like we got a little taste of it, but imagine riding that wave into an actual victory. That would just be unreal.
well, in I'll never forget in '06 when they lost after Andy Chavez made that catch.
Yeah.
I was like, if they would have just won that game, that probably would have been one of the greatest moments in sports history if they won that game. And then even the 2015 Mets when they completely blew it when Cespedes kicked the ball,
Yeah.
and then Alex Gordon hit a home run off Familia, and then the Lucas Duda.
Dude,
Bro,
I was at the game, dude.
you were at the throw home game.
Yeah, I was at that game, dude. I'm like, oh my god, this is brutal. Now I gotta get on the train. I gotta take the train all the way back to Jersey, just sitting down like this the whole way.
Head down, just shaking your head. But
Brutal.
that's the Mets. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I thought the OMG year, I thought they just ran out of gas.
Yeah, nobody expected us to make it that far anyway.
No, but I'll tell you what, the shit talking to Nooch was awesome.
Yep.
When we those, I mean, is there any office banter between you guys, or is it people Philly and you?
All the time, man, all the time. It's like going back to your initial question. It's like it's tough being a Mets fan in Philly because you do catch it. You definitely catch it, but at the same time we hold up pretty well against the Phillies and we play them pretty tough. So I love going out, catching a game with friends, and I love just being in the middle and being one of the only people there with the blue and orange on and just talking my shit, baby. I'm not going to give an inch. They're not going to give an inch. When the game's over, we'll have a beer together, but while the game's on, neither of us are going to give an inch, and that's what makes it great.
No, and like it's incredible the amount of shit talking we do, and then it's just like let's go have some beers. And I'll tell you what, the one thing I'll give Philly over New York right now in terms of the Mets is Xfinity and that whole ballpark experience.
Yeah,
Anybody listening, if you have never been to Philly, Xfinity, go there because it's probably the greatest sports setup in the country.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Like they have nothing but bars, and I think there's a bull riding thing there or something like that.
There is.
And you just walk to the stadium. I mean, I don't think there's a better like setup at all. But I got to give you credit for just being a New York fan in Philly because Philly fans can be ruthless.
They're ruthless, baby. But you know what? Like, I'm the kind of person where I just enjoy being behind enemy lines. Like, put me in there. I'm gonna talk my game. I'm gonna be there with you till the last out. I'm gonna take my L's too. I'll take it on the chin when it's my turn. But when you're in the mix and you get a dub, it's that much sweeter.
Yeah. And do you guys work with any athletes, like professional athletes at your company, or?
We worked with a couple because our company was actually sponsoring the soccer team, the Philly Union for a while. So we worked with a couple of those guys. Nikki worked with a pro boxer actually who's out of South Philly for a while. So yeah, we had a couple. Not a ton because those guys all have they have every treatment under the sun that you could possibly imagine, all the pros. But yeah, we got some here and there, more like amateur athletes and stuff like that.
I just thought like that would be super beneficial for a team to have like a chiropractor on deck, right?
Yeah, they all have their own.
Oh, so they all go to their own.
Yeah, they all have in-house like chiropractic, physical therapy, sports medicine. They have all that stuff just in-house. So like they have the best treatment, in the world.
Yeah. Oh, I think HealthBridge is the best in the world. So maybe they should reconsider, especially for my my at-home chiropractor in Philly, Nick Benucci. Always get a little neck crack.
You always leave feeling better than you came in.
Oh yeah, I mean unless I drink 14 beers and go out to the bars in Philly, those things could end up a little dangerous sometimes. But
Has been known to happen.
oh, I think Philly's a very good party town.
Oh, it's a great city. It's a great city, man. It's if you're young, even if you're older in your 30s, 40s, and you want to go out and have a good time with people similar age, similar interests, it's Philly's a great spot. It really is.
So if somebody were to visit Philly, not me, I've obviously been there, but if anybody was to visit Philly, like, is there any specific spots they got to hit up?
Yeah, man, you definitely got to hit up McGillin's. McGillin's is one of the oldest taverns in the country. It is a cool spot. It's definitely a little bit of a younger spot, but it's a classic Irish pub tavern spot, and it's a Philly staple. Love McGillin's. So if anyone's coming into Philly or anyone is going to spend some time here, make sure you hit up McGillin's. McGillin's is has never ever not been a fun time.
Okay, so you heard the man. Head there, get drunk, have a good time, and St. Patty's Day is coming up.
Sum it up, man.
So I mean, you definitely need to go. So my question to you, I guess we'll kind of go back a little bit. Well, is there any advice you would give to like a youngster? Like obviously me being in education, right? So if one of my middle school students is like, "Hey, I want to be a chiropractor," is there any advice that you would kind of lend to them, going through it so they can one day hopefully be as successful as you?
Um, Best advice I can give is you just have to get up every single day and you have to grind. You have to every single day you have to be a little bit productive, even if it's 5%, even if it's 10%. Um, we well in chiropractic school, we would be in class, and Nikki will tell you the same thing. You'd be in class from 7 in the morning till 5 p.m. And you're there all day in class, and then you go home at the end of the day and you got to do another 2 to 3 hours of studying every night. You got to get up on Saturday. You might be going out Friday night, you might be doing whatever, but Saturday morning, you still got to get up and you got to do at least 2 to 3 hours of studying. You got to get up Sunday, you got to do 2 to 3 hours. You got to fit that in on the weekends every day, because school is so expensive now, and it's so much time and effort that you can't risk, failing a course, having to retake a course. You got to grind and you got to put that work in so you get everything done and you get everything correct the first time. Not to mention, patients are coming to you, putting their trust in you. Um, you know, sharing their stories with you. If they tell you something that needs to be flagged and something that needs to be assessed or addressed properly, you have to be able to do that. It's not a joke, it's not a game. So if you put that time in, if you put the effort in, if you grind, you put your nose down and grind while you're in school and while you're training, you'll be great. And if you're great, people are always going to make their way to you and find you, and you're going to be known for that. But that doesn't happen without you putting the effort in, and that's really the big thing. There's no substitute for it.
No, I super appreciate that advice and just you're giving your take on it all because I think a lot of kids don't want to work that hard to get there sometimes. So I think it's good to hear that if you work hard at something, there's definitely rewards on the other side, especially in the chiropractic world. And I think, like you said, having that working that hard, you got to develop that trust within your patients, right? So if
Yeah.
they tell you something, that's a big part of it. I think that relationship building and just being authentic as a person, like I said, probably goes a long way in your field as well. Because the patients, I would assume, right, feel more comfortable. Like, hey, I'm with Danny.
Yeah.
I'm here. I could, let him know what's going on, and I know that he's going to have the best interest for me. So that's really awesome to hear. So what was, let's go. What was fifth grade Danny, sixth grade Danny like back in?
Oh man, I w- I wish I could go back. You know, it was just we were outside every day, bro. We just playing stickball in the schoolyard, playing touch football in the street, baseball, basketball, just doing anything you could with your buddies, just riding bikes, scooters, skateboarding, playing basketball in the backyard. It was just like different day, a different sport, just honestly growing up, I'll tell you, my parents, they didn't let us watch much TV. It was get good grades, do your homework, be outside playing with your friends. And that's pretty much what life was back then. And I mean, it's definitely simpler times, but good times.
Yeah, no, and I think I don't know. I think back in the day, we didn't even want to be inside watching TV. For
Uh,
us, it was let's go out, like you said, play baseball at the local park, or let's all get together. Let's just go ride bikes somewhere. I mean, you knew where we were back in the day based on the 17 bikes on the lawn. That's like that's how you knew where people were. I mean, we never really had cell phones when growing up, so it was like, all right, I see 17 bikes there. I know my kid is there, or it was trying to get us to go back inside, whether, "Hey, you're playing Manhunt right now? Okay.
yeah.
Oh, you're outside doing something." But I think like you said, it was just we never wanted to be inside. I mean, whether maybe the morning cartoons of Hey Arnold and
Yeah, that was
things
it.
like yeah.
That was it. And dude, we were so competitive with each other. It was like our parents would come and be like, "It's time to go home." We're like, "No, we got to finish this last game of 2-on-2. It's 19-19 games to 21." And it would just be like, until it's done, you're staying there and you're gonna play because we were so competitive.
No, and that's I could just thinking back as you said that. I mean, the driveway basketball games, like you said, were crazy, and nobody wanted to leave. You would literally be leaning over your buddy playing defense, exhausted, gassed, but you didn't want to give it up, having to bring the ball back and then try and score. I mean, those games were something else. And even thinking back, it was just like we used to have like at the park we played the World Series
Yeah.
where we literally played like a 7-game World Series, 9 innings for from 9 a.m. to about like 7 p.m. and nobody wanted to go home. But it was just a different time.
Yeah, man. That was just the life back then. It was look forward to the weekend. Weekend comes, all you're doing is trying to figure out where you and your buddies are going. What is it going to be basketball today? Is it going to be football today? What are we going to do? And we're going to be there all day long. And another thing, you as an educator, this, that's the bonding that you get with your peers, with your colleagues, and that's what teaches you respect for each other because you might get in a little dust up during some of these games, you might have some arguments, whatever. At the end of the day, you're still friends and you're still buddies, and that's kind of like even that conflict resolution aspect of it. You get in a little fist fight with your buddy, you brush it off, and then the next week you're hanging back out again, at the park. It's all that stuff is just kind of shapes who you are.
Yeah, and I think we probably had a little short-term memory in us because that usually always happened. We'd get into fights, and next thing you know, we're all hanging out. And I think it happens with kids nowadays. It's kind of crazy how that aspect hasn't changed. Kids will just be battling in PE, basketball, and then talking so much trash to each other, and then 4 seconds later they're hanging out on lunch, just shooting the shit with each other. So I don't think the competitive spirit is gone, luckily, with the technology. But like you said, it just builds that character and that conflict resolution is still there, which is actually really, really good to see out of kids.
Yeah.
Did you guys deal with kids at HealthBridge or is it strict adults?
No, we do honestly. So, I've had someone as young as 5, 6 years old that I've treated as a patient. And then I've had people up into their 80s and 90s that I've treated as patients. It's my personal philosophy is I don't believe that there's someone that I can't at least help a little bit. I may not be able to completely fix what's wrong with you, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to help you, even if I can only help you a little bit and you get some benefit out of it. I'm going to at least try.
Wow, that's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear that the age range that you're helping is that wide, and a lot of good things coming out of the chiropractic work. I'll tell you that. So, but Danny, man, I really appreciate you hopping on the pod, man. It's been such an honor to have you on Lakeside Unplugged, just chopping it up, talking Mets, talking about your life, and also congratulations once again on getting married. Congratulations on having a child. Congratulations on getting about to purchase a home. You're doing very well, and like I said, I think you are an amazing person. I'm glad you hopped on. We could chop it up a little bit. So again, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, brother. It's always great to catch up with you, and I appreciate you having me on. Great to share some stories and some flashbacks, and I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lakeside Unplugged, for hanging out with me, Marty G, and percolating for another episode. Have a good night. Peace.